In the world of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, brushstrokes shape existence, memories echo through color, and love clings to the canvas world and beyond. But what happens when the very act of remembering becomes a prison? This is the heart of Une vie Atimi, a haunting requiem highlighting the Descendre family and the lost Verso. My name is Cosmo. I do speedruns, video essays, and a lot of other gaming content. Be sure to like the video, share it around, and subscribe for more. And let's dive deep into this beautiful track. The opening lines established that this duet is contextualized by Aline and Renoir. Aline sings to stop loving me, followed by Renoir pleading to Aline that he will always love her. A harmonic merging occurs where both Elise de Pourpercier and Victor Borba utter to drop this brush, leave this canvas, and utter each other's names, referencing both characters, pleading to each other to stop what they're doing. They both are encapsulated with their powers as painters, stating, "I will always paint." Aline and Renoir continue to beg for each other to stop, once again uttering their names. Now this second half of the first couplet, it establishes the tension of love and separation. It highlights the opposing viewpoints of Renoir and Aline, who are handling the loss of their son Verso in completely different ways. So Aline seeks to preserve Verso alongside their family within the canvas, this artificial world. In contrast, Renoir wishes to end this fantasy world and allow for the family to truly move on. This slow build-up and harmony really allows us to enter this musical canvas ourselves and immediately feel something, which will then be exacerbated even more. Wow, blazing colors, fiery red, life taken, a painting I cannot see, close my eyes, darkness remains. This song from the point of view of Aline beautifully portrays the sorrow of living with the memory of a loved one. The noir, the sad eyes, this points to Verso within the canvas, forced to paint for eternity, but through the gold and all the colors. His existence here from the perspective of Aline allows him to live on forever and to always be loved and never forgotten. The line "Rouge feu vioté" refers to a life lost in violence or passion, a death too intense to be forgotten, the fiery one that Verso unfortunately faced. The line "Tableau que je ne peux voir" reflects emotional blindness. It showcases Aline being unable to bear the loss of her child, not able to see the reality of the situation. The contrast of black and gold symbolizes mourning and memory, pain and joy mingled in contradiction. And the line "Dans chaque couleur une part de lui," this line is so central. It essentially means Verso lives on through art, through the colors, through the paint. He's present in absence. What this means essentially is that art is both a wound and a bridge. It hurts to look, but you have to do it. Let's continue on forward. This repeats throughout the track, like an emotional heartbeat. This is a soaring splatter of emotions. To paint love, to paint life, to cry in color within the canvas is what it means for love to remain and for love to die at the same time. This once again tells us the duality of this conflict, where love is eternalized versus where it stagnates and never heals. At this point, we've established just how truly tragic but beautiful all of this is. And as the refrain repeats and ends, they utter that they love each other despite their differences. By pairing creation or painting with destruction or mourning, this song expresses the duality at the heart of Clair-Obscur, the tension between holding on and letting go. The phrase "Notre amour se meurt," our love is dying. This phrase could signify emotional collapse. The canvas that once held memory is now a grave. The act of painting becomes futile, or worse, a reminder that grief is winning. Now after this, we move through a beautiful piano medley and hear the sound of rain and droplets as we move to the next act of this masterpiece. Here we openly present more of Clair-Obscur's story in lyrical fashion. This section of the track goes into the turmoil and the internal struggle surrounding the loss of a loved one. To love, to dream, to cry, love, stay, cry, love, let go, cry, verso erased. This is the painful process of reflection and moving forward for the Dissonder family. Ultimately, these lines form a mirror structure. The first half clings to memory and the second to release. A heartbeat of mourning that lives in dreams, and the idea that erasing verso is actually the correct thing to do. And as we move forward through the grief, we'll get a hopeful and magnificent violin to transition us into the fourth couplet. Continuing to love, continuing to paint, imploring Verso to come back. It's a vulnerable and desperate expression. This is not just romantic longing, it's also maternal mourning. Aline can't stop loving her son. Transcending death and to continue painting is the only way to connect with him. Through color and form, she keeps him alive, and she begs the universe to undo what has been done, which she knows is impossible. Expressions of pain so deep they bend the fabric of reality, and art becomes her only language, which is exactly what will be explored next. That was a somber and gentle movement of messages and communication here. Eternal love through memory and art. This recurring theme is told to us here through a poetic passage about presence beyond death and an eternal bond. Every shadow has his face. Every glint contains his laughter. In each color shows his smile, and as long as heartbeats are not in sync, her love will remain as she waits. This shows a turning point from unbearable grief to quiet reverence. This ultimately transitions us into a symbolic fifth and sixth couplet, which acts as kind of a ritualistic recitation. This repetition, it's not lazy songwriting or a compositional error. This mimics the act of someone painting themselves, second-guessing every stroke, every memory, every choice you can make. Painting, scratching, painting, breaking. These words are used to reflect the emotional cycle of creation, grief, and trauma. The create, doubt, destroy, and try again. It's art as both salvation and punishment. And here we reference the game's title and ongoing theme as well, the clair-obscur, which is not just a visual term representing black and white or contrast. It's an entire metaphor for tension between life and death, the light and the darkness, hope and despair, or even memory versus oblivion. Everyone in this family exists at the clair-obscur, referenced by the names being called out within memory, within trauma. This is the breaking point, and ultimately our transition into the finale.
Arrête de
Now here we return to where we are at the beginning, dropping the brush, leaving the canvas, pleading with each other once again. Aline and Renoir at constant conflict with each other. It is beautiful, it is sad. It's necessary, but also unnecessary. It's a war of ideology and a battle fueled by grief. And I've said everything else that I can say regarding this, really, without repeating myself. So let's go to a new variation of the main chorus and what I think is the start to a magnificent ending. Verso's loss, fiery death. Red is not just paint, it is the fire that destroyed this family. Even in shared darkness, Aline and Renoir are looking for hope with these new lyrics, trying to create meaning from their actions. Your hand in mine, our pain ticks by, may refer to the people still here, still connecting, awaiting their sorrow to trickle away, and while it's uncertain if it will ever vanish, it is shared. Together in the future, we will paint the clair-obscur. Maybe the most pinnacle line in the entire track, actually. Finally, creation again, but not alone, not haunted, not clinging to the past. The idea of painting the clair-obscur, together carrying that grief, the memories, the light into the future, it's prosperous. It's hopeful. This track doesn't just capture loss, it transforms it into a play, into a form of poetry, into something that will shape the future, with forgiveness as well. The clair-obscur is not just a war of ideologies, it's a deeply human tale about struggle to love, to remember, and ultimately to rebuild. And thus we've arrived at the end of this frankly incredible video game track that transcends the art form. This closing section is the epitaph of the song, the emotional release of everything that came before, from restatement of the mission of the artist and the mourner to continue painting not in black and white but in color, in humanity, beauty from sadness. The life shared by Renoir, Aline, Alicia, and Verso is etched permanently into the canvas of art itself. The canvas in-game is memory, legacy, and hope disguised as an illusion. The final passage is a frankly heartbreaking closure. It doesn't defy grief, it doesn't pretend everything is healed. Instead, it embraces love, life, and sorrow as inseparable from each other and leaves us with a gentle and final farewell. If you liked this video, guys, definitely subscribe and share it around. It helps a lot. I would love to do more video essay type of content on the games I enjoy, the music that I love, and I hope that I can share that more with you. So take care and have a great day.